So I'd like to thank everyone today for attending, and those of you that are watching this in a recording, hopefully you're quickly getting ready for the conference. We really have the pleasure of having Jessica Johnson with us as the host for this conference. And my hat's off to all the small business development people that are either on or are sitting on the sidelines helping with our clients in different ways. There are so many different ways our small business development center personnel help. Some are business advisors working in the business segment. Most are that. And then we have our support folks, our tech center, and Jessica is the regional host at Johnson County Community College. And we've got everyone doing a little bit of a different aspect of work, and yet we all come together to try to make this conference work. What we were saying, if you heard us a while ago, the Tech Scouts, this is all about, it's the primary reason we do this is to bring the DoD Tech Scouts to the table to be able to spend a few minutes of their time focused on innovation. That's what they do on a regular basis, but they're doing so many different things that for them to sit down and focus for a period of time is very rare. And the reason they do it, number one, is because we were blessed with the opportunity to be able to sit in New York back in 2017 and watch how they do it. And we found a natural fit with our small business development centers, because our job as a whole is to help our small businesses start a business, grow a business, improve or sell. I mean, we're there to help our clients on a regular basis. This conference comes up June 6th for basically a week at a time, once a year. It's a hard stop in time on the calendar. But beyond that, we are ongoing working with our clients. Some of our clients this week have told us, I can't make it. And it's like, well, we're out. No, you're out of the conference. You're not out of our program. We're continuing to work with you. So what we're doing today is taking the time to let Jessica walk through the conference hall virtually and give you the ability to walk through and see how this program works in a way that you couldn't do even physically. You can't go to the conference a week ahead of time and walk through the conference and get an idea of what's going on. You can today. And so for all of you that are here, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your focus, but especially Jessica and her team for their standing up as the host. There's a lot of work that goes on to make this happen. With that, I'll turn it over to you, Jessica, and let you begin.
All right, thanks, Alan. Good to be here today with everyone. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a walkthrough of Excelevents, which is the virtual conference platform we're utilizing for Encountering Innovations 2022. If you've been to the virtual Encountering Innovation in years past, it's the exact same platform. And great news, if you've been in years past, once you get access to this year's conference and you go to your profile, you log in, all your profile information will be there. So that's one thing that you won't have to do this year is reset up your profile. So that's a plus. But I'm going to put in the chat right now where you can access the conference landing page. You will utilize this link to access the conference each day. It's where you will log in and get into the conference portal. You can go out there now. I'm going to go through it here in just a little bit, and we'll see, the agenda, the speakers, the sponsors, just general overview of what to expect. So first and foremost, I do want to let everyone know that we have started giving access to virtual booths. So if you have already paid for the conference, we started sending out virtual booths on the 25th. So on Wednesday, started getting those sent out, and you should have received an email from the platform. So Excelevents. I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you what that email looked like. Okay. Vicki, are we seeing the screen? you give me a thumbs up? Okay, perfect. So as you can see, it comes from account@excelevents.com. This is going to be very important. It could have went to your junk, it could have went to your spam, but this is the email that'll give you access to your booth. So you just click the blue button, get access, log in. You're going to log in with the email address you paid with. And that's how we set it up. Check your junk. Also, we are going to start giving platform access for profiles on June 3rd, so next Friday. You will also receive an email from Excelevents, so account@excelevents.com. If it does go to your junk or spam, go ahead and unblock it. Make excelevents.com a safe center, so that way that you will receive those in your inbox and you don't miss it. Okay, we are going to jump into the landing page. So this is the conference. What you're looking at is the conference homepage, what you can access right now, the link that I put in the chat. And on the cover page here, you have, about, so everything the conference is about, hot links to some of the key players that are going to be there, information on accessing and setting up your profile. So these are all hot links as well. So video walkthroughs, tutorials. I believe there's more tutorials on your booth setup in your share folders that you received from EI admin. So just some more tutorials for you there. What we have up here at the top, this is showing that I am already logged in. If you haven't logged in yet, there's going to be a place for you to log in once you get that access next Friday. And then you can just go through the agenda. And we'll go through each of these not each of the agenda items, but I'll go through the setup of the agenda items so you know how to identify what it is you want to attend once we get into the actual. I'm going to give you an insider look of what the conference will look like. So you'll see the agenda. You'll see the speakers, you can read their bios, see what sessions they're speaking at. And then you can also see the sponsors. Hot links to social media for Kansas Small Business Development Center. If you want to bookmark those, you also have access to set up your social media with your profile as well. Okay, we are going to get to the fun stuff and we are going to take an insider look of the conference. Vicki, can I get a thumbs up if you're seeing the conference? Thank you. Okay, so up here, once you've logged in and you've accessed the conference, so you will have your profile up here. Again, you can set up your profile after we give you access next Friday. So this can already be set up. You'll just click on here, edit your profile, and your basic information will be here. You could do a video bio of yourself if you'd like. You can put a little bit about you. Here's the location that you can put your URLs for your social media. They will be hot links on your attendees tile, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a little bit. You can update your interest. This is really a cool feature of the platform. So we really fell in love with this platform. We originally were looking at different conference platforms because obviously Encountering Innovation was in person. And the best thing about being in person is that the ability to just naturally network. The great thing about this platform is that it provides plenty of opportunity for networking. This is one of those opportunities. Filling in each of these areas, there's an algorithm that runs in the background that will suggest connections for you based on like interest. So it's really these are good fields to fill out if you want to see if there's others who are interested in the same items you are. There's privacy settings. So there's ways that you can send direct messages. You can have video call through this platform with other attendees. You can do chats. If you want to show your contact information to exhibitors. Let's see here. Agree to share your personal data. So you can toggle these on for, as liberal or as conservative of privacy savvy settings that you would like. Meetings and connections. There's also, the platform has the capability for you to schedule meetings and have those meetings through the platform. The meetings are much like a Zoom meeting, just like what we're on right now, where you can do a face-to-face video chat. So you can set up your schedule if you ever done like a bookings link or bookings link where people can just go and choose your availability. Here's where you can set your availability there. So that's your profile, setting that up. Across the top here, you have the little doorbell, what I call. This is where you're going to receive notifications. So anytime you have a new notification, there's going to be a red number up there for how many notifications that you have, awaiting for you to review. So if you see a little red number up there, just click on there and see what those notifications are. You have your chat box here, which this opens your chat area. So this chat, you have two different streams of chatting. You have channels, which channels equal individual sessions. So what we have here is we have Encountering Innovation Week 2022. This is overall conference chat. The next ones you have are the JCC Welcome. This is the first session on day one on the main stage. So each of these are different presentations, different rooms within the virtual conference where you can chat among the other attendees that are in that session. Then you have direct messages. These direct messages are with individuals, private messages, one-on-one, much like a text message to an individual. So if you click on their name, like here's Valerie Reese, you'll move over to the right where it shows you you're just now chatting with Valerie Reese. I'm gonna move my—
Jessica, got a quick question.
Yes, so please stop me.
Right now there's a red dot by Valerie and then Shelly has a green dot. What does that mean?
So the red dot means that they're not online. The green dot means that they are online. The reason that Shelly is in my direct messages right now is because we have connected in previous conferences. She is also in this conference and she must be in her booth right now setting it up.
Very cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
One other thing to mention, and Alan, you had this question for me the other day. How can you tell how many people are at the conference? This bottom area at you see right the bottom where you type in your messages, it says 3 online. There must be 2 people total in their booths right now, and myself. So you can see how many people are online in the conference by looking right down here at the bottom. All right, so you can collapse this chat box, doing the close arrow. You see we're in the Encountering Innovation Week. This is the entire conference. This chat area will be monitored throughout the conference. That will be myself and others of my team monitoring this area. If you're having any issues, you can't find a certain room, or you're whatever it may be, or you can do shout outs to other people. This is a public chat, but it will be monitored. So if there's questions, this is a great way to get those questions out to us as the host. The last icon across the top is a little calendar, and this is where you can schedule meetings. So it'll pop up and you can see where your meetings, if you have any meetings, you can create a meeting. So I want to create a meeting. I want to create a meeting with Valerie, but as you can see, meeting request is disabled by user. So you can create a meeting within here if you would like, and connect up that way. Okay, any questions so far? And Alan, please, if you wouldn't mind monitoring chat or questions. I am flying blind right now, so I can't see anybody.
Okay, I don't think we have any questions just yet. I have one on what you just, where it said disabled by user.
Yes.
Which user? We're talking about Valerie?
Yes, so that was Valerie because create a meeting request is disabled by user. That is done when profiles were set up. So in your profile under privacy, you can allow meeting request from. So she must have marked no one.
Okay.
So you can
So
disable that.
do you know how does it come up automatically, or do you know when you first start?
Oh, what is the default settings? I don't know what the default settings are. So I do highly recommend you go in and check it out.
Okay, thanks.
Good question. Okay, we're going to get into the left-hand blue menu. This is how you're going to navigate throughout the conference. First and foremost, the lobby. The lobby, if you ever get lost, all signs point back to the lobby. So just go home, go to the little house. So on your lobby, you have 4 toggle areas here across the middle of the screen. And I'm going to collapse this side window to make it larger. So you have your live conference updates. There's this activity stream here where you can post pictures, you can post documents, you can just have, you know, funny stuff, or if something awesome happened and you want to share it out with the conference, put it here with the activity stream. We've enabled it so all attendees can post to the activity stream this year. So definitely give us a shout out. You know, what's going great? What do you like? You know, made good connections. Let us know. Love to hear it. We have gamification on board again this year. Super exciting. We have 2 challenges for everyone. Really trying to, you know, increase that participation and connections and the networking and all of that. So we have 2 challenges. We have Expo Mania. Expo Mania, the objective is to obtain as many points as possible by visiting and interacting with as many Expo booths as possible. So you can read through that once you get in there, what the how you can obtain points per activity. But the goal of this is to become the top point earner between the Expo Mania challenge and then our second challenge, which is session sweeps, and that is a tongue twister. So with our session sweeps, the objective is to obtain as many points as possible by attending as many live sessions as possible. Now, we also have, this year, they've ramped up the platform, which is amazing. You get points for watching recorded sessions. So all the sessions are going to be recorded in case you're pitching or you're matchmaking during one of the speaking sessions. You can always go back and watch that recording so you won't miss it. And you'll have up to 30 days to watch the recording, get back on the platform and watch. So the goal of this one as well, be the collective top point earner between both challenges. We have an amazing prize for the top point earner between the 2 challenges. Rick, you're on here. Would you like to talk just a minute about what our prize is?
Sure. Okay, thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. David Brock, who's the small business specialist at the NASA Marshall Space Flight Center, has agreed that to be the prize, and he'll spend a half an hour with you talking about NASA, how to connect with NASA, and how to actually any questions that you have. It's really meant to be more of a mentoring session. He's also agreed to invite whoever the winner is to pitch to his large and small business council. And his large business council, which includes Boeing and Lockheed and a few others, I think there's about 12 to 15 in that council. And you'll be able to give your pitch on your company to them. He's also got about 800 on his small business council, and I'm not quite sure how many attend that. But the 2 councils have sort of a joint counseling that they do where people virtually give a pitch on their company. So that should mean there's 12 large primes, but you'd also be pitching to all the smalls that are on there. And like I say, there's a potential of 800. I doubt if it's 800 every month when they do it. But it certainly means you get a chance to pitch to a wide variety of folks. So that's the prize. And David Brock was actually pretty enthusiastic. He was happy to do it. So that said, back to you, Jessica.
Thanks, Rick. No, it's awesome. It's a really great prize this year for that. All right, let's get the screen share rolling again. Okay, so back to gamification. I clicked on the challenges to see the details, so you can read the details on that. And then when you click back over to leaderboard, there's going to be a grid where right here where it says there's no data to display. And you'll be able to see who is the leader throughout the week as the week goes on. And so it's fun to see as that changes throughout the week where the final person will be at the top. So time will tell. Exciting. Okay, back to the middle. You have your live conference updates. We talked about the 2 sections here. Now we're going to get to the meat and potatoes, the agenda. So the agenda, it looks exactly like it does on the landing page from the link I put in the chat. So with this, you're in the agenda. You have 3 tabs across the middle. You have sessions, you have speakers, so that it'll change to the speaker view, and then you have my sessions. With the sessions, each session gives the details of what to expect. We have them listed at where you can find them at, whether they're a main stage session, and all Mondays will be main stage sessions, except for happy hour, which is a workshop. So on the left-hand side, you have main stage sessions, or you have workshops where you can access those. Additionally, you will be able to access them from this agenda on the day of the conference. There will be a button up here that will allow you to enter the room just from this view. Let's go back up here to the top. Next to, after it tells you what type of session it is, it tells you how long the session is, so you can get a feel for that. And then we have tagged each of our sessions, either innovation or contracting. So I know we have companies here that are pitching, or they're matchmaking, or they're doing both. So the pitches are the innovation, the matchmaking side, sessions pertaining to you are more on the contracting track. So if you're looking for one track or another, that's how you can tell which sessions would pertain best to you. And you can filter up here tags and tags for those. You can toggle your view. So right now we have the large tile view. You can go to a list view to get a more concise understanding of the schedule for the week or the day. So that's fun. When you click on the session, it will open it up large. It will show you the speakers. You can, again, click on the speakers, see their bio. There's hot links within their bios as well that will lead you to more information about their organizations. You can also bookmark this. If you bookmark a session, what that is doing is you're just telling yourself, this is one I want to go to. And once you bookmark it, it'll say that you are attending, and it'll throw it into my sessions. So before I didn't have that blue 1 here. So now I have, yes, this is what my session, this is my personalized agenda for the week.
Jessica.
Yes.
I was going to say, once you bookmark that, does it do, if you're off doing something in the platform and it's now time for that to come on, is there some kind of a reminder, or what does it do?
To my knowledge, no, but I can look into that and get a solid answer.
Okay.
Okay, yep, I will get an answer to that. Perfect, good question. Okay. Are there any other questions from this view before we move forward? Nope. Okay. The next line over is speakers, just like on the landing page from the link in the chat. You can view all the speakers just themselves. And then this My Session tab. So we talked a little bit about this. However, for all my matchmakers out there, this is the most important tab in the agenda for you. This is the only place where you will be able to access your private room for your matchmaking sessions. So please, 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 if you're looking for your matchmaking private room, go to My Sessions. We do have reminders in the agenda built in to guide you to this, and I'll show you an example of that. And forgive me, you will not see all of these. I'm an admin, so I'm seeing everything that's in the platform. But what you'll see on the public agenda is this for matchmaking meetings. It's a blanket coverall, and it'll guide you on how to get to your private matchmaking room. If you're not on this meeting or you don't have a chance to watch the recording, and then B, as a reminder. So steps on how to get to your matchmaking room. And if you get turned around and you can't remember, by all means, please come back to the conference chat and type it in here and get a reminder on how to access your matchmaking room. And we'll be happy to help you out. Okay. Moving right along, we're going to move on to the main stage. Again, the main stage, 9 days away until it starts. Kickoff. So at the main stage, this is where you will see the speakers. The chat will be available for it. Once it starts, it'll automatically open up the appropriate chat room here for that session. And then all of the sessions that are happening on the main stage, you can see all of those that are underneath here. Once a session has happened, so say you wanted to go to the future of Kansas and something popped up you weren't able to attend. This session is recorded. All the sessions are recorded except for the happy hour. You can come back here, and instead of this bookmark tab, it will be a view recording tab. And so you can go in and you'll be able to view the recording right from the main stage. Okay, next up, lounges. So the lounges is another way to just connect, meet new people, hang out, just chat, just a hangout place, really. Maybe you want to continue the conversation. Maybe you want to gather a couple of people for a group conversation. You can come to the lounge. The lounge has video chat capability, just like the Zoom meeting that we're in right now, where multiple people can be on screen and can chat at the same time. It's not private, so just know it's just like a general lounge. So you can grab a cup of coffee, come in, hang out, and chat among fellow attendees. Enter into the lounge. So there's a live forum. So you just click now if you want to get into that, that Zoom room type of setup. There's an activity stream, so you can just post in here if you like, details, about what's going on in the lounge, or if you want others to see what's happening that are in the lounge. It'll show you who's been in the lounge. This is not who is actively in right now, but who has ever been in here. Photos, if people upload photos, you can upload videos. And then of course you can go to the live forum. I'm not going to do it right now because it'll start to mess with my camera settings since I'm already in Zoom. So, so this is the lounge. To exit the lounge, you can click off into another area of the conference or just hit the back button to get to the main lounge lobby. Questions on the lounges? Okay, good. Workshops. I'm
slow. So I was talking and I realized I was muted like everybody.
Oh, okay.
Quick question. When are we sent our matchmaking pitch schedule? I hadn't read that, so that didn't quite pertain, but.
I just put that in the chat box, but I'll.
So you answered it?
I did, but that's okay. Everyone will receive their pitch schedules by Monday. And then we will be sending out the matchmaking schedules on Wednesday, June 1st. And watch for those emails, and they will come from eiadmin@ksbdc.net. So if you don't see it in your inbox, please check your spam junk folder, because they sometimes go there.
Yeah, and to that, there's two, NASA, and I forget the other one right now. I think it's USDA. They're going to be doing their own scheduling, but I will be sending out this afternoon or this evening. I will be sending out a list. It'll be an email note that says, hey, this company has asked to meet with you. So it kind of gives you a heads up. I'll also be telling them that you'll be getting a notice from, if it's NASA, you'll be getting a notice from so-and-so at NASA. So look for it, because they aren't able to work through our software. So they'll be sending their own invite. And so there's two that will be doing that.
We also had a question about, are we having any pitches on Monday? No, the pitches will start on Tuesday. They'll go Tuesday through Thursday. I will send all of the tech coaches a comprehensive schedule of their clients so that they also have easy access or know and can work with whoever they need to about being in those, available for those pitches as well. They'll know the schedule for their clients.
And to piggyback on that, Vicki, so there will be no pitches on Monday with the programming that's going on Monday, but pitches and matches will overlap Tuesday and Wednesday programming. However, all of them will be recorded. So if you're pitching or matchmaking during a session you wanted to watch, just know you can go back and watch that session. And I think Anne had a question.
There aren't any pitches on Wednesday afternoon after 2 o'clock.
Hello, yes, I do have a question. So over the last few years of doing this, I've crafted our information and material about our company towards DOD, and now I'm seeing that USDA is going to be involved. And a lot of our research and work has happened more in the animal health and food safety. So I'm just wondering, how can I be sure to get some time with a USDA representative? They may or may not understand the connection based on the amount of DOD material I put in. Did anyone hear that?
So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I got your question exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just if USDA is going to be there, and of course they're in charge of everything related to food safety, animal health, everything. And while my product is regarding environmental hygiene, so we have a lot of application in that realm, although all my materials are really directed at the DOD applications. So my question is there any way to ensure that the USDA people will just make that connection, or do I need to be explicit with it somehow?
So that's, Anne, that's actually a great question. The answer to that for all of you is, this is relationship building. The whole program is. So when you know that you truly believe you have something that will fit well with an agency or a prime, and then you're sitting back waiting for them, because as we are learning, your capability matrix gives you the ability to meet with any, you choose and you can request anyone you see. Well, they're not on that list. They're off that list or above it, however we want to term it. The agencies and the primes get to choose. That's how we make a deal with them. That doesn't mean we can't reach out to them. So what we want you to do is when you have someone, and for everyone else, if you have someone you truly believe should get it, that they should meet with you and they don't, what we want you to do is in less than one page, so like a bluff, give us the reason they should have connected with you, and then documentation wise, we have other things they can deep dive. So if you'll give us, Alan or Rick, I believe USDA should have reached out to me because ... then there's your chance for your specific bluff for USDA. And what we'll do is we'll reach back out to them and say, hey, the conference has passed and we noticed you didn't meet with so-and-so. And then we'll attach that. That doesn't mean that they'll respond in a positive way. They may go, I saw that, but no, we don't connect. But if you have something like that, and I've had that question with me 2 or 3 times now, and hopefully they'll match with you and they'll see that. But we've given them the ability to look at everyone. If they don't get it, we'll send that to them.
Perfect.
Great question.
Okay, and Alan, if I may, we have 2 happy hours going on Monday evening from 5 to 6. Now, there's no promise that they will attend, but we have invited the agencies and the prime contractors to come to a happy hour just to network and mingle with other attendees. Like I said, no promise they'll attend, but it's an opportunity that may present itself.
Exactly. Good reminder.
Okay. Any other questions before we hop back into the conference? Okay.
We got one I know Dana has asked me directly, wanting to know what agencies are in the pitch session. So on our pitches, we have our DoD Tech Scouts. Honeywell is planning to be in the pitch session. I don't think we have, and Rick, maybe you can answer that. I think our agencies that are in the matchmaking, I don't know of any of the agencies that are planning to be in the pitches. Do you?
I didn't see any being in the pitches. No.
Yeah. So Dana, to that point, that's another good question. For those of you that believe, it kind of goes back to what Ann just asked. If you have someone that's pitching that you believe that this is a target for a certain agency that is listed as a participant for the program, if you'll let us know, or if you have someone that you think should be there, even if they're not on the list, if you'll let us know, I will be glad to do my best next week to reach out to those. We will be sending through Bill Carey with his work and Vicki, we're sending all the tech scouts that have told us they're participating. We will be sending them the pitch schedule with the bluffs and the titles. That way, and so our lead tech scout really is Tim Fowler. So for Tim and then the rest of the group, we've encouraged them, if they believe that there's someone that should be at the live pitch, that they send it to them, because all that's public information. So we'll do our best to connect them live at the pitch. But if it doesn't happen, and you know there's a good match, please let us know, and we'll be glad to try to move that forward as well. Okay, I think we're back to you, Jessica.
Okay, here we go. Okay, there were a couple of items that I forgot. One item, main item that I forgot about the main stage. All main stage sessions are going to be ran like a Zoom webinar, whereas the speakers cannot see you or interact with you other than through chat or Q&A or polls, and vice versa. You cannot interact with them directly. So all of Monday sessions are main stage sessions. They're like Zoom webinars. definitely use that chat feature. If you have questions, we're inviting them to stick around as well, hop into the lounge to continue a conversation if questions arise. So just remember that main stage is Zoom webinar style. Now our workshops, which is what we're hopping into next, workshops are like a Zoom meeting, just like what we're in right now. And so you are able to interact. There's no breakout rooms, but you can interact with others, have open conversations. And so all of our workshops, Tuesday and Wednesday, they are going to be just a free-flowing, more of a casual conversation style of training. There are going to be, you know, all of our speakers have presentations and are bringing really good content, but just know that that's the difference between a main stage section and a workshop. So Monday evening, we do have 2 happy hours that are in that workshop fashion. These 2 will not be recorded. So just know that what talked about in happy hour stays in happy hour, will not be recorded. All of our other, and neither will your matchmaking rooms. Those are not recorded. But all of our other educational material workshops will be recorded. So you can go back and review these if you missed them. They're set up much like we saw the other sessions. The only thing with these is you can enter up to 15 minutes prior, and you're just entering in, and you can have a casual conversation with whomever's in the room until the presenter starts at the start time at 8:30. So Zoom Zoom meeting style for these workshops, free-flowing conversation. There's chat as well in here if you're not comfortable speaking or having your camera on. You can have your camera turned off as well. So those are the workshops. The Expo Hall.
Hey, and Jessica, if I could interrupt just for a second.
Yes, sir.
We had a question as to who the large primes and the agencies who'd be participating in the matchmaking and on the panel. And so I'm sending that out to everybody right now.
Oh, perfect. Through chat?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, Expo Hall. All right, remember there's Expo Mania going on. Everyone who has already paid has had their booth access sent to them. And we've already had some companies that have populated their booth, which is amazing. So I'm just going to take you a walkthrough of the Expo Hall. When you get into the Expo Hall, you're going to see tags across the top. So we have the booths segregated out based on the different categories. So anyone who is pitching will be in the innovator category. Anyone who's matchmaking will be in the manufacturers category. And then the others hopefully are self-explanatory. And so there may be some, so if you're pitching and matchmaking, you will show up in both categories, both the innovator and the manufacturer category. So just a way to kind of filter through if you're looking for a particular type of company walking through, or there's an all where you can see everybody who has a booth in here. So I'm going to go through a booth and show you what it could look like. All right, I don't want to give away their entire video and make you go see it yourself at the conference, but this booth has been populated. You have the ability to embed a commercial or a video for your company. You are the creator of your virtual booth. You'll choose your images, you'll choose your logos, you'll get it, you'll upload it all. If you have a video, you can upload your video. Company details. They chose to just do a simple company details. There's also an option for you to put any like sales or offers. If there's offers that you have, There's a separate tab in your backend administrative area where you can add those in, upload documents, input links if you want to direct them to your website, or if you have documents you'd like people to download, so they can click on it and it automatically downloads, so that way they can take it with them. And then of course, with the company representative here, you can request to connect with them, or you can just chat directly with them, send them a message. So the booths, very important to get more information, more understanding. Great thing for you to do maybe on Monday during the breaks. If you know who you're matched with, especially those that are matchmaking, go and see who it is that you're talking with throughout the week and get a little bit more understanding. And so that way you're better prepared going into those matchmaking sessions. Okay, any questions on the Expo Hall? Okay, hearing none, we're going to go to the last area of the conference, and that's the attendees. So with the attendees, again, there's different filters. You have all attendees, my connections, and suggested for you. In this area, in the all attendees, you're going to see every single attendee that there is. Most of these are speakers or those that have been given access for booths that you see in here. I'm going to pick on Shelly Armato right here. As you can see, there's a green checkbox on her attendee tile. With this, that means that we are already connected. So she's going to show up in my connections area. And again, like I mentioned with Shelly, we connected at last year's conference, and since she has a booth already, she's already showing up in here. So how you connect is the blue connect button. And what it will do is it will send a friend request, so to say, and that friend request will be up here in the notifications. Remember the little red numbers that will populate in this notification. So make sure to check your notifications. You may have connections. Once you are connected with a person, you have the options to either meet with them if they have it enabled. You can video chat, so one-on-one video chat like a Zoom meeting, or you can text chat, where that text chat again will pop up on this side over here. And then you can text back and forth with Shelly. The suggested for you, this is that powerful area. Remember in the profile, I said make sure to update all your interests, who you'd like to meet, all the details about your company or more information. That algorithm is going to run through all of the people and everyone who has filled out that section of their profile, and you are going to have matches here that are suggested for you. Take it or leave it, but it's a good way to meet new connections that you may not have considered before. But the algorithm has done its work and said, yep, they're a good match based on what you were looking for. Any questions in the attendee area? Okay. Well, that's the platform in a nutshell. Hopefully you were able to get a better understanding of how you can navigate, what to expect from the platform. Just, reminder to make sure to set up your profile to maximize those connections, and make sure to get your booth set up and visit others' booths, and to get a better understanding of who's at the conference and who really would be a good connection for you for the future. All right, Alan.
Jessica, thank you so much. So how long is this conference platform live?
Great question. Yes, you will have access to it for up to 30 days after the end of the conference.
Okay, so basically once I set this up, we're able to do all that you showed, all the connections, all the stuff, going back, watching the video, all of that for a full 30 days.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Okay. At this point, first of all, thank you so much. We couldn't do this, and I really mean it. I noticed we got some of our SBDC folks from Oklahoma. We've got some from Texas. Two of our best closest SBDC partners that have done a great job working with us and working with those of you that are in those states. Jessica does a great job. We couldn't focus without her helping, and what they do is so important. So the best thing you can do is get registered. That's the fee portion. What she's showing you costs extra for their program, for their SBDC at Johnson County. And so they reach out to us and work with us for that benefit. So it's a big deal. So please do your part, get registered. If you're going to be here, I tried text or emailing all of our pitch and our matchmaking yesterday out of from my perspective, from our, I don't want to name the name of it because it doesn't mean anything to you, our CRM. And so hopefully all of you got it. If you did, some of you were, I recognized some folks that are here today, I'm guessing because of that. That's great. What we need you to do is help us know that you're coming. One of the ways Jessica has done that is by giving a certain price through the 29th, right? So that's through Sunday night. And so we really need you to go ahead and pay, get that done, get your registration fee taken care of today if possible, today, tomorrow, or Sunday, to where we know that you're here. It goes up by $20 on Monday, right? Is that the right amount? I think that's right. So
$40.
40? Okay. So it's twice as bad. So we need you to get in right now than what I thought. The idea is it really helps us because we're trying to max out the sessions, especially the pitch with DoD. Matchmaking, it's a little embarrassing. It's not a big deal. We can always tell someone, well, they can't meet with you right now, so we can pull those out in the match. We have people that have told us, and some of you may be on, that says, I just can't make it for the conference. I can't make the deadline. I've got too much going on. We're not a conference platform. We are an ongoing program. So if you miss a matchmaking session, if you miss your pitch, that's kind of a big deal because the DoD Tech Scouts are there for that. But we have some people that will not make the DoD Tech Scout during this period. We get that. That's not a problem. We can't perfectly fix that. We can always go back and connect with one or two of the Tech Scouts. But for those of you that have been in a pitch, what you probably have noticed, and I know we have, Bill, Carey, myself, and everyone that has set in on these pitches, the Tech Scouts are extremely collaborative. So I have literally watched Terry Griffin, who had been a Tech Scout and was standing up this program in Huntsville, Alabama, and they were stuck. And he leaned over and he said, so Brett, don't you have the so-and-so program? And Brett said, yeah, I do. And he said, well, why don't you? And all of a sudden they were off to the races again. So one of the best parts of pitching to the Tech Scouts as a group is there is a group think. And I have not watched any group do better than the DoD Tech Scouts at coming together to try to solve what they need to do. They are all about who they represent, but they are also appreciative of the fact that you've come to this program. They're appreciative of the fact that we've tried to train you and get you to where it's very effective, very efficient. So your being there is a big deal. With that in mind, please connect and get your platform, help reimburse Jessica's college for funding this. There's an additional fund. It's not in her budget that she puts this up for. So I know I sound like the PBS guy saying, please remit, please help. But that's exactly what this is about. The SBDC as a whole is prepaid. Our advising services, everyone on here from Dana to Mark to Glenna, Jessica, myself, all of us, we're prepaid. You're not paying for Jessica's time. You're not paying for mine or Chris or anyone. All that money goes towards the soft costs that are additional for this conference. So we try to keep that low for that very reason. So in that regard, help us by moving forward if you haven't taken care of that. For those of you that have, thank you. That's a big deal because we've got slots spoken for you. And if you're not going to be there, we need you to tell us. Obviously, I'm preaching to the choir. If you're here, you're planning on being there, and I get that. If you know of others, push them. Those of you that are tech coaches, Dana, all of you that are out there in the other places, get them move forward. We're not too worried about Texas and Oklahoma because you guys do that. But anyway, just trying to make sure you know that. The second thing is if you haven't practiced your pitch, you concern us, because if you've never pitched, then the first time you pitch, you're a little nervous. That's very typical. If you haven't practiced and you've run out of time, you need to practice. If it's not with us, put somebody in front of you and do a 9-9-2. Talk for 9 minutes, or give yourself the ability to talk about what you're doing. And then after 9 minutes, get them to shut you down. And then at that point, you need to go into the question and answer. If you have time, I highly recommend getting with your tech coach, with us. Bill and Vicky are working on bringing everyone together. So their time is extremely limited going into next week. But you can always ask. And if we can't do it, we'll tell you. But do everything you can to be prepared. Worst case scenario is you don't have time to prepare. Then just understand it's as soon as your tech scouts start asking questions, you've gone into the collaborative portion of that 20 minutes. That's a good thing. That means answer them. Please don't say, well, if you let me finish, I'll show you that. They don't need to see a sales pitch. They need to see what you're talking about. But as soon as they get it, then let them start asking questions to get you through where they can get what they need answered to help them.
Alan?
Yeah.
I can't get my video to work. I'm sorry, but I would just say to that, for those of you that are out there thinking, well, I've already got a pitch that I use all the time, I would just say to you, I have never seen anybody that has a pitch that they say, hey, can I just use this pitch? I've never seen it be the right pitch, because it's almost always a sales pitch, and this is not a sales pitch, it's a technology pitch. So please, please don't just walk in and say, well, I'm just going to use this pitch deck that I always use, because it's the wrong pitch.
Thank you, Bill. Understand that this is about the benefit. You don't need, to that point, you don't need to tell them what their problem is. They know their problems. You don't need to tell them what the world's problem is, how big the world's problem is. They start looking at each other going, why is he telling me how much deforestation is happening all over the globe? They start twitching because they know they've got 20 minutes and that clock is ticking. They've watched us go, Tim, I appreciate that. We got to go, because we've got someone else coming right behind them. So their time is extremely limited. As soon as they get it, they get it. So do everything you can to make this about the benefit to what they're doing or what they're looking for. If you're not certain, tell them. How you connect with them the best is you say, I have an innovation and we are an innovative group looking to alter our innovation in a way that it will help you with what your problem is, what you're seeking as a solution. If you've got that, then as soon as they understand what you're doing and how it works now, then they can start asking questions. They're going to ask you how big, how small, how fast, how slow. Can it go underwater? Can it work at -40 degrees? They're going to start asking you all kinds of questions that you may or may not be prepared for. But hopefully with what we've told you, you kind of have a clue. But that's what they're going to do. If you're good with that, then you're good to go.
One quick question, Hope, and
yes,
that
ma'am.
is, I know the 1st of June is our deadline to have the final stuff in our folders. If we think of something that we want to amend after that, is it possible? And do we just put a different date on it and then put final?
Yeah, and you got to add a $10 check to Vicky.
So yeah, and we'll be checking those regularly and making sure we've got the most recent file. And I put in the chat box the registration link along with those rates, the early bird, and then the rate after the 30th.
Thank you, Vicki. Like I said, I realize the folks that are on here, you're not the ones, but we're trying our best to get as many completed to where the majority of our conference is complete, ready to go, so where we can handle those special exceptions later. So where we can handle Ann.
I've got a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, let me start with a statement. I work with the Tarrant County Small Business Development Center, and I want to say thank you to all of you. I've not met, or I've met very few people who work as hard to help us out. And every single person, at least in the Tarrant County office that I've met, is very, very helpful. And I'm very thankful for that. Is there a link? I'm new to this. I just found out about this whole thing less than a week ago, and I'm kind of a little bit behind the 8 ball. Is there a link, or is there somewhere where I can go to see these specific tech scouts so that I know who my audience is? I know what kind of gear they work with. What, you know, is there somewhere I can go to see that link, or do you just know off the top of your head?
Right. So Blaine, that's a great question. The answer to that is a challenge for you because let me answer it this way. The first 3 that are going to be there are IACs. They're the Information Analysis Center Field Advisors. That's Tim Fowler, David Rios, and Joseph Hack. That's all the IACs now. That's 100%. There's only 3 now. They had 4, but they're 3. They think of them like floaters or free agents. Their job is to work across all the COCOMs, the combatant commands. So they represent them all. So basically, you've got the entire DoD combatant command tech scouts at your disposal. That's not quite accurate when it comes to what I call the adoption rate. This is Allenology here. So what I found and what we seem to see is that the tech scouts will tend to adopt 1 or 2 innovations per conference. They don't have enough bandwidth to do more than that. They'll socialize and they'll cooperate with everyone else, but they'll tend to adopt 1 or 2. So we try to get more tech scouts to the conference to increase that amount of adoptions for you and other innovations. What's probably best for you is to look at where you think, and this is what Bill's job is, how Bill helps us, Bill Carey, is looking at your innovation and where that need is the closest we can find for your innovation. That's our job, or that's what his job is, to try to match that. 80% of our innovators, that's our bogey, or our par. We want to get to about 80% match. That means 20% can be wild card. And as Brett Sheringhausen used to say over and over, we don't know what we don't know. So you may have something that they don't know they need. Okay. So what we try to get you to do, and all of the innovators to do, is understand that in our head, we're not where you are as soon as you start. So the best way you can help them is to start with something. So if you say, okay, I don't know where this matches, my best match guess was, and then you put the crosshairs on that one, whatever it is. We've got Indo-PACOM calling right now. I'm like, give me just a second where I can say, Mike, can you hold on just a couple of minutes? Okay, I'll call you right back. I've been trying to, that's Indo-PACOM. We've been trying to get hold of him. He's one of the tech scouts that'll be there to your answer. And so basically what I'm trying to explain to you is that the IACs represent basically everyone. but they specifically serve certain segments. So I'll take Tim Fowler. Tim Fowler is embedded at Stratcom. So if you go to the defense marketplace, you could go, I think on our website we show it, but you can go to and Bill can probably answer this better. Or if Vicki, if you or Bill could pull up the defense marketplace and make sure you put this in the chat. You go to the defense marketplace, there is a place where you can see all of the non-classified needs. It's called the combatant command capability needs.
I've seen it. It's a PowerPoint.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're pitching, all of the tech scouts attend all of the pitches. Is that correct?
No, it's a good question. That's not always the case because they put 3 days of their time off on this. Every now and then somebody's out for that, okay, for a certain pitch. So that's not always the case, but most of the time, those 3 IACs will be there through the whole thing.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so then the follow-up questions, and I'll ask them both at the same time, they're related. So once we give our pitch, can you explain the typical follow-up to keep the ball rolling? Like, are we going to have access to the tech scout if they're interested, obviously? You know, is there going to be something that's a little, you know, so that, you know, follow-up
Sure.
as a small company is one of our hardest things because we got to keep the doors open and pay the bills. And so
Right.
it gets a little convoluted. So one, what is the follow-up that is typical? And then 2, what are the typical vehicles to keep the ball moving? And I mean like funding, you know, how does it work? Are they pulling from specific pots of money that they come to these things with that they're ready to fund something and keep this moving? Or how does that work? So follow up, and then what kind of vehicles to fund a venture?
Right. So I'm looking and I don't see Jesse. We have a new tech scout this year for us, not new to the program by any means, but new for our awareness. We get credit for the fact that we were working with them only because of Brett Sheringhausen. Brett was socializing to this person and to this program. Although we were from Jessica Johnson, we were about 4, maybe 5 miles apart physically from the Johnson County Community College to UMKC and the MIDE. So to answer your question, number 1, what will happen? You go from the green room 20 minutes ahead of time, you sit in the green room, you get ready, last minute jitters, questions, you go to the pitch room, and the pitch room is at 20 minutes 992 where you present. During that, we have a scribe or 2 scribes that are writing down everything that's happening that's significant, they're capturing. Then that information goes to the red room. So as soon as you're through, you'll go to the red room. Physically, that's 3 different rooms. Virtually, that's 3 different Zoom rooms. So you'll go from Zoom room green, Zoom room pitch, to Zoom room red. And when you go to the red room, then we will have sent you the scribe notes where then you and your tech coach, in this case, that's hopefully someone from Texas, is sitting in with you. What we try to do is have someone that will sit in and listen to where they go in there with you. They're trained enough to where they understand, they're listening. They don't have to have your job knowledge for your technology, but they heard, okay, I want you to clean up on slide 3, I want you to change that picture, or I want you to add. So they state certain things that they want because they need clarification. So that information is on the scribe notes. So you'll get that immediately afterwards. If we wait till the next 3 or 4 days, the problem is everybody kind of goes foggy and they don't quite remember. So we try to get that immediately done as soon as you're through with a pitch to where you understand the to-do list. So they're going to say certain things that they recommend right then. They may tell you, I want you to reach out to, or I'm going to refer you to the Surgeon General for Army, or we're going to do whatever they say is in those scribe notes. So that way, you and whoever else is in there pitching, you guys, if you're pitching, you don't need to be taking notes. You need to be listening and responding. We don't want you going, okay, hold on a second. You don't have time for that. That's what our scribes are for. So they'll take care of that for you. But then you'll do the red room. After the red room, then to your point on the follow-up is extremely important, as that is follow through exactly what they said they need. And then all of you get that information back to us when they say we need an update on the quad chart, or we need an update in your pitch deck, which is basically a quad chart exploded into 10 slides, if nothing else. So all of that information they're asking for, because then that information goes to them. They will then at some point catch up, and they will decide who they want to socialize that to, program managers and things like that, okay? So that's the first step. The second thing is what we're very proud to say is we're working very closely with MIDE at UMKC. That's the Missouri Institute for Defense and Energy. Jesse Bowden is a great tech scout. He is literally a tech scout contracted with MIDE. So MIDE is doing tech scouting as a part of their program. They have a variety of professors, PhDs in different fields, but Jesse came from Air Force. I don't see him on today. He'll be one of the tech scouts. We vetted him and we vetted MIDE with the tech scouts. So we introduced them to each other. Some of them met at Suffolk last week. So we've made sure that Jesse could sit in the pitch room with them. He is a contract specialist. His title is Director of Research and Institute Programs at MIDE. His job, what he does, his job knowledge, he came from Air Force in contracting. So he is very good at the contracts. We actually had one of our poster child best innovator companies said, and I don't mind saying it because he said it exactly like this. He said, I have not met anyone as good as Jesse Bowden at the ability of navigating funds with the DoD. So Jesse's going to be a part of that program with us, and we're very proud to be working with him. So he will be there. So to your point, if there's a potential for funding, we have one of the best experts that will be in that pitch with you. So that's our best, hopefully best silver bullet, if you will, to be able to understand what navigating opportunities there are for funding, whether that's an SBIR, STTR, or other funds. Jesse's one of the best at that. So he'll be there with us.
Okay, let me be more specific on one point, because I do get the funding. I've been to these pitches, similar type of pitches before, and hopefully everyone here has gotten a tremendous amount of good response. And I've found that, even we're talking to the PMA 202, the head of NavAir Systems, and the top of the Air Force guys, anyway, I won't go into the list, but when you're in that audience and you have your 20 minutes and there's a lot of interest, a lot of good questions, I found that what happens is people go off back to their busy jobs. And especially when you're talking to the person at the top, that's the person that you need because he's got to sign off. But there is not a direct link to this person. And I'm wondering if there's some kind of system by virtue of the tech scouts coming here where we can use them to keep helping us push this if there is interest. And I found that challenging before. You get a lot of, man, that's awesome. And yes, we'd like to do that. And then you find yourself 6 to 9 months later and nothing has happened. And you can't call these people every day and be a bother.
That's exactly right. So I got to tell you, Blaine, you're probably describing the crux of the matter with innovation within DoD. There's not an automated process. At some point, it's a human being to human being, whether it's the contract program manager or whoever. So you just described probably our greatest challenge. And so to that point, That's why the scribe notes are so important, that we've got to look at that list and we've got to decide how we go forward. I think one of the best things we can do is when we engage the person we're being handed off to, including working with Jesse as an example, is ask them, okay, so I've been referred before with Brett Sheringhausen, and I started by saying, this is who I am, this is where I'm at. And then I was referred to you by Brett Sheringhausen. The guy is a PhD in Washington, D.C. He said, okay, hold on. You were referred by Brett? And I said, yes. And he said, okay, start over. So all of a sudden he was listening. And so part of this is understanding when you're being referred that you got to say, this is who referred me. And then I think one of the best things is I need to know how you want me to engage you as the next person I'm being referred to, and how often. How often can I follow up with you without irritating you? Because we've been to McConnell when they back before we ever started doing any of this, and we were asking program managers, how do these people come to you, and how do you decide who to work with? And they quickly told us, those that come like you that have been referred to us and we have their information, they're the first ones we go to. If we can't find it there, then we go to the GSA. If it's not there, then we got to start all over. I said, well, what happened? And he said, well, I got to tell you, those that come to us, if they keep coming, they come too often, I take them off that list and I throw them out. And I'm like, seriously? And he said, yeah. He said, when they irritate me, and I thought, so we realized there's real human beings involved. So I honestly think what you just said about not being a bother is ask them, what can I do to help you, help me, help you? And what can I do that you don't want me to do? And I think that's fair. But honestly, Blaine, you're asking probably one of the key questions to this. I think Jesse is, and I'm not trying to build him into a superhero, but he's probably one of the best we've seen. And he's here in the Midwest, and he's trying to be part of the solution with us. So I think he's probably one of the best we can look at that will help us through that process. That's my best answer.
Okay. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry to monopolize.
No. You're asking very good questions that everyone here is concerned with. We get it. We really do. Not everyone here will succeed. I get that. That's not what happens. What we're trying to do is help you move forward. Some of your tech scouts, we've watched them say, I don't see a solution that we need, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to refer you to someone and then Under Armour, and they tell you. And so that's what the scribe notes are about. When they do that, we're going to do our best to capture that information where you can be referred on. The good news about the SBDC is we're not a DoD function. We're not being paid by DoD just to work with them. Our job is to help commercialize. So DoD attracts you to us, attracts them to us to where you guys can meet. That may or may not be the final solution. Jesse is a big part. Rick Slater is coming to us to bring the primes. David Shahady with Air Force, SBIR, about 4 years ago told us understand where the technology transfer happens. In most cases, it happens at the second, third, or fourth tier companies that are working with the primes. It generally does not happen with the prime, and it doesn't happen with the DoD because they're not building it. They're looking to the prime to build it, and the primes are busy satisfying a contract. So Rick's worked very hard, and this is part of where we're going, is trying to get those second, third, and fourth tier companies to be at this event to where you guys connect. So some of the best things you can do is look at that capability matrix and look on those companies and go, if you haven't done this yet, which company, if I don't see any, which company is my best guess that I should match with to where we can at least get you guys connected? That company may not be your solution, but they may know who you need to meet with. So every one of you needs to be meeting with one or two companies. And we have very few technology transfer companies that say, I can't meet with anyone else. We understand that. Your IP is is a big deal and you think I can't meet. But most of you, we highly encourage to look at each other and go, who should I meet with? It's a part of the process of where I'm going. And that's part of what I would encourage you to be looking at as well.
And Alan, if I can add a quick comment. As far as the matchmaking goes, last year we had small businesses, choosing small businesses, and we never really had more than one or two that they were choosing. This year, it's a little bit different. In fact, there's one small business that chose 12 companies. So they're tending this year to choose more folks. The other comment is I did a little tour. Tim Fowler, one of our tech scouts, came down here and he was meeting with some companies that had been set up. And what was interesting was what he was doing is the formula that I think works best. And Blaine, it's directly to your point. At the end of the day, we were driving back and we had met with about 12 people. And he was going on and he said, with this company, I really need to get them in touch with so-and-so at this base. And I think he was naming off bases, some I'd never heard of. And he went down through and he said, I need to meet with them with this. And I expected, 2 or 3 companies he would mention. He mentioned every single one of them, because he goes around the country, meets with the project managers and the engineers. And so he knows who needs to be called. And that's really powerful because, your point was well taken. If you're meeting with the generals and the admirals, their memory is good for about 5 minutes. And unless it's spectacular and somebody mentions it again the next time, it really has no meaning. They sign off on it because the engineers or the project managers bring it to them. So that really doesn't have a lot of meaning. But the fact that these tech scouts get around and they know the areas that have mentioned it to them, that's really important. And it's the same with the SDVOs, the small business liaison officers with the large primes. They meet routinely with engineers. They don't meet with the president of the company unless the president of the company's giving them some words of wisdom or something. They meet with the project managers on a weekly basis or a semi-weekly basis. And they hear the buzzwords and they hear some of the problems where they're looking for companies that can do something. That's why they become your best shot. And for our large primes that are going to be there, those are the folks that you would meet with on the matchmaking. And it's the same exact thing with the tech scouts. You're meeting with exactly the right people because they meet with everyone and find out where the problems are. That's really their job. Anyway, I've gone on and on, but I just thought I would make that point. So, and thank you for the question, Blaine. And Anne has been raising her voice or raising her hand. So I guess she's next.
Well, I just wanted to speak to Blaine and the companies that are preparing for this. And in other lunch and learns, we've heard a lot about realistic expectations and, time spent to get into places. And so I might just comment that it seems in terms of the ask, it's not the same as you're doing an investor pitch where you have a certain amount of money in mind to, for a certain amount of equity. It's kind of a different ask. You're asking for help that's more pragmatic, or they may suggest things like, oh, have you contacted this lab to, get some assistance with the next test that you need or something like that. But to my knowledge, we haven't been crafting our pitches to ask for a certain amount of money. And Alan, you can help me with that.
So I think part of the challenge is understanding that that it is a long process. And your step forward, sometimes the person that you're talking to can't help you specifically, but they can refer you to someone. And that gets old after a while. You're like, how many times am I going to be referred? But it's kind of like I think of it like a chain, and you're going from one link to the next one to get through that. But we really don't know how well and I know I'm banging the same cymbal, but we went and met, I'll just tell you, we met Jesse, Bill, myself, and our state director met with Jesse a few weeks ago. He had reached out to me, and after he told me what they did, I said, how come I haven't heard about you before? And he said, well, I met you back in, I think 2018 or 2019, and I didn't even know it. And he said, yeah, you were a little busy. I was at the conference. And so we kind of laughed about it. But then I went back and looked in our emails, and Brett Sheringhausen had socialized our client to him. When we went and met him, we had more clients. He gave us a list of just this last year, and we had 5 clients on the board that had won significant SBIR or contracts that they were working with. And so our job is to help find those people that can help you. And Jesse's all about it. Today, he told me about a company that we know about, but they weren't a client of ours. And he said, you remember, he said, so-and-so just got this week. And I said, I don't know them. I know of them. He said, well, let me fix that. And he introduced me to them. We got a meeting next Tuesday, and hopefully they'll be pitching at the conference because they actually need the tech scouts. Well, we're not going to do much heavy lifting if we can get them in there, but the tech scout can. But the tech scout is not going to solve, almost never will a tech scout solve your issue and connect you just with the perfect person. That's extremely rare. They're going to hand you to someone. What they do know is how to talk. And so if you're too technical, they're going to try to bring you down and say, we need you to think of it like this. I think of it like benefits. Whatever you're doing, what is the benefit? Don't worry so much about your feature. At some point, when you're at the right place, the scientist will ask the feature questions. Okay, is that a AR54933? No, it's a 4932. And you're like, well, it needs to be a 33. I don't know that. The tech scout doesn't know that. Rarely will the tech scout have that kind of information. They're going to get you where you need to go through the program manager or the person in the door. And so hopefully that helps you. Bill is excellent. What Bill does for us is he is able to bridge the gap from a small business person, a person who has dealt with multiple SBIRs and won those, as well as a scientist and a small business person. So he's done a great job of helping us bridge those gaps in a way that we don't do that. So hopefully you've had a chance to listen to Bill and whatever you're working on. If you haven't, we offered that up. At least understand when those pitch practices come on, Bill and Vicky have been perfect for that to help you. Sometimes their recommendation, I would have never given it to you. That is a good one for you for your pitch. Anyway, I hope that helps. I know Bill's already gone. We're in overtime. It's 1:30. And I apologize for those of you that hung on waiting for an answer or get another question answered. Hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea. Blaine, it sounds like we kind of beat this to death, but I'll tell you, what you asked is what's on everybody's mind. And I understand that. So I really appreciate the questions. Anyone else? We're only a week away from basically getting started with this, but this is just the beginning. I'm almost going to be answering Blaine's question in a video that Chris Pennington is waiting on, that we'll put on for the last day of the conference, that you can see about what do we do now. But that is the big next step. We know that we are not this is not about putting on a conference. This is about bringing people together to move forward. We're an ongoing program. Your folks in Tarrant County are. We're all there to try to help you ongoing. So that's the people that lose are the people that hope something happened at the event, at the conference, and then give up. That happens, but that's not what we're about. We're about ongoing helping you. Any questions or comments from anyone else? We've got Blaine. I thought the question you were going to ask is, remember that on encounteringinnovation.com, any one of you can fast track with Bill or with Rick, because we've recorded all the training to where anyone could show up today, this weekend, or the first of next week and sign up and fast track through the training and get all their information ready for the pitch deck or for the matchmaking. So all of that information, just go to Encountering Innovation. You click on, you'll see a training and support. You go down the pitch or the tech side, or you can go down the matchmaking side. We've got documents as well as the videos for you. If you've missed any training and you want to go back and double check, if it's early in the morning, get a cup of coffee, click on it, and walk your way through it. Late in the afternoon, a cup of tea, or if you need something stronger than, a nice cold beer, whatever it takes to get you through it. If you have a question, don't hesitate to send an email to us. We'll do our best to answer them as quick as we can.